Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for calling in this evening for our monthly community meeting. I'm Valerie Ragland, and we certainly appreciate you taking a little bit of your time to spend with us. We're going to begin with comments from our CEO, Ms. Bakara Malden.
Gloria Reddick.
Join the meeting.
Good evening, everyone.
Join the meeting.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to see all of you all here this evening. Since taking the helm of Chatham Area Transit about 2 months ago, we've worked together as a team to ensure that we score minds and hearts of all who live, work, and play in Chatham County. Now, by score, of course, we mean S, strengthen and stabilize our finances. C, care for our customers, employees, and community at large. O, optimize our operations. R, reimagine transit in Chatham County. And E, engage stakeholders and customers and our employees at all levels. And so we have worked hard for the last 2 months to ensure that we score. And so, of course, today, our agency scored big time as we joined transit agencies all across the country of all sizes in our commitment to health and safety of our transit passengers and employees. The American Public Transportation Association rolled out a national transit recovery commitment program. And we were proud to take an active role in the rollout of that program. And so hopefully before long, you'll start to see materials coming out of Chatham Area Transit that has the seal, basically the good housekeeping seal of approval, if you will, for transit agencies. And this basically just reaffirms the commitment that we've had all along to providing a safe and efficient method of mobility in Chatham County. So please be on the lookout for that. So I just wanted to touch on that briefly before we get into the information that I know many of you all are waiting to hear, which is about the status of our service. You know, earlier this year, you may have heard that I spoke with the board about potential service reductions and cuts. And luckily, we're able to kind of, I guess, reimagine, if you will, how we're going to do that and really focus more on the optimization of our service, as in O, versus service cuts and reductions. And so over the next few months, we'll have a series of activities, and I just want to briefly highlight them. You'll be getting more concrete information as the days and the months roll on, but I just wanted to give you the heads up and kind of give you that sneak peek, if you will. We are expecting to get in plexiglass barriers that will provide a safety zone, if you will, for our operators. And we hope to have them installed in all of our buses by the end of October. October 26th is the target date that we have for that. Now, if you've been on our buses lately, you'll notice that we've provided a little bit more room on our buses, whereas we have a safety zone that is delineated by a line that is taped on the buses. And then we've moved up the chains on the buses to allow a few more people to have a seat. We know that this is inconvenient. This causes our buses to be at full capacity a lot sooner than we would like. But this is one thing that is in keeping with the best practices around the country of only allowing our buses to fill up to half capacity. So we will continue to ask for your patience with us and that you will continue to communicate with us. We're all in this together, and it's very important that we work together to ensure that we have the most efficient service possible. We are looking as of November 1st to incorporate some of our optimization changes. They will include temporarily suspending Sunday service. And while we know that this may impact some people, we believe that this will also make a positive impact in the community, as it will allow us a bit of a reset day, if you will. A day that we can really get in and deep clean our buses and ensure that they are clean, sanitized, and ready for the work week ahead. And so starting November 1st, we are looking to temporarily suspend service. We will also be temporarily suspending our airport shuttle and reimagining how we can better serve people that are visiting or working at the airport and out in that area. So look to get more information from us in the near future about that. We are also looking to go to what we call the Holiday Plus. There are several routes that are very, very high performing, and we're actually going to increase the frequency on those routes and increase the level of service on those routes. In particular, I know that the 14 Abercorn has been a source that's been one of our highest performing routes and a source of, I guess, angst with some people, because we have gotten a lot of calls about that route. And so I want to let you know we hear you and we're doing our best to address those concerns. And so we will have a lot more service on that route, as well as a few other routes that are also high performing. The other routes will be at holiday service, and system development will be getting some information out very soon that has all of the specifics about the routes. So again, November 1st is a big day in terms of how we will operate our transit service going forward. We expect these changes to be in effect at least through the end of the fiscal year, which for us ends on June 30th. But again, these changes aren't just motivated by our financial situation. It is motivated by our desire to offer the safest and most efficient service possible for the safety and well-being of our employees and our customers. And so we hope that you will continue to have faith in our service. We hope that you will be patient with us during this time. As I said during a meeting I was in earlier, you know, COVID-19 actually forced transit agencies here and all across the country from a posture of business as usual to business unusual. So as we work to navigate these times, we hope that you will continue to support us, and remember that today is always going to be a great day to catch a cat. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Ragland, and I look forward to seeing you all on the bus line.
Join the meeting.
Thank you so much, Ms. Malden. And
Ms. Val,
if you
give me
would
one
please.
moment. I'm gonna take care of that noise in the background.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was just going to ask if everyone who is not speaking, if they would please mute their phones. And when you are asked to speak, if you would just unmute it, so we won't have all that background disturbance. Okay, and we will have an opportunity near the end of the meeting for any questions that may be asked of Ms. Malden or anyone else that might be presenting. And at that time, if you would just press *9, that will raise your hand to notify us that you would like to ask a question. So there will be a time after the presenters have spoken to ask questions or to make suggestions. So just hold tight. So now we're going to hear from our Ms. Ashley Wilson, who is our call center supervisor. She'll be providing our CAT mobility updates this evening. Ashley?
Good evening, everybody. How are you all?
Good.
We would like to remind everyone that as we continue to practice social distancing due to COVID-19 pandemic, customers may experience delays in their trips. In addition to increased ridership and only 3 passengers being scheduled per vehicle, our scheduling department and transportation supervisors continue to work together to ensure minimal impact. So we would like to just apologize for any inconvenience you may have experienced thus far. We also would like to ask that passengers please be ready at least 15 minutes before your scheduled pickup time, and would like to encourage all passengers to wear a mask or a face covering. In regards to our virtual call center, in an effort to keep our employees safe, all call center advocates continue to work remotely. Our agents will be standing by ready to take your calls between the hours of 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday at 912-233-5767. You may also reach someone after hours at 912-651-490.
Join the meeting.
Our goal continues to be providing quality customer service in a professional and responsive manner. For new customers who are looking to join our air transit services, you may go to our website at catchacat.org. Click on Catch a Cat, then Passengers with Disabilities. From here, you can learn more about the program, including eligibility requirements, and complete the online application. You may also download an application and mail it into our office at 900 East Gwinnett Street. And the last thing is hurricane preparedness. We are suggesting that all of our passengers have a hurricane plan in place for their families. CAT is proud to partner with SEMA, the Chatham Emergency Management Agency, for the safety of our community. Should evacuation be required, CAT will continue to run regular routes for as long as possible, while also stopping at a staging area, which is the Savannah Civic Center, on each trip to accommodate those without their own form of transportation for evacuation. And that's all I have this evening.
Okay, thank you, Ashley.
Thank
We'll
you.
move to Ms. Arden, Wendy Arden, who's our operations director. She'll give us some fixed route updates.
Thank you, Val. What I want to add on to Ms. Malden's discussion about the fixed route and the 14 Abercorn and several other routes, we do know that we're riding full buses. So in the meantime, before the change takes effect in November, we have staff on standby, and we have hot buses that we activate throughout the day so that we can pick up passengers that are probably abandoned on the street on the 14. We're doing it on the 10 East Savannah, the 17, because we know the 17, if you miss a bus, it's going to be another hour or 2 hours until you get another ride. So we are actively doing that throughout the day with the control center and the operators that are on standby. So hopefully we lessen the burden of waiting on a bus. Other than that, that's all really the updates I have for fixed route at this time.
Thank you, Wendy. I know that's good news with those hot buses.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll move forward now to Erica Franklin, who's our Safety, Training, and Environmental Services Director, for her departmental update. Erica?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Val. Good evening, everyone. I'm Erica Franklin, the Director of Safety, Training, and Environmental Services for CAT. And I want to start by giving everyone a situational update. We do this a couple of times a week internally, and I think it helps if you're not keeping up with the data to know where we are locally and in our state as far as COVID statistics go. And these numbers come from the Department of Public Health's website and GMA's report as far as hospitalizations and where we are with our capacity in our hospitals and healthcare system. So as of the 3 p.m. update today on the Department of Public Health's report, total cases in Georgia are 287,287. Total deaths in Georgia are 6,128. In the past 24 hours in the state of Georgia, we have added 2,081 additional cases, and 60 additional fatalities were reported due to COVID-19. And our positivity rate in the state of Georgia is 10.4%. And the World Health Organization's goal for containment is 5%. That lets us know where we are as a community with being able to contain the spread of a virus. And as far as Chatham County goes, our total cases in Chatham County are 7,592. And our total fatalities are 132 now in Chatham County. In the past 24 hours, we have reported an additional 68 cases and 1 additional fatality in the past 24 hours. So just to kind of let you know where we stand with the nation, Georgia is #1 in the nation for hospitalizations currently. Hospitalizations have been going down the past couple of weeks, but the rates are still high. So that's just to give everybody an idea that, you know, this virus is still spreading. It's still very serious, and we need to take it very seriously. We are still #2 for the death rate in the nation. We're doing everything we can at CAT to keep public transit safe for you. So we ask that you do your part in keeping it safe as well by staying home if you're ill, and please wear a mask or face covering when you use our services. So I really wanted to reiterate that one. We've put out a lot of strong communication about staying home if you're ill, and take care of yourself. You don't make time for your wellness now, you will be forced to make time for your illness. So that's a catchphrase that's been going around a lot. We want you to stay home if you're sick and take care of yourself. And once again, please wear a face mask or covering when you use our services. And Miss Ashley in our call center, she touched on hurricane preparedness. We are well in the swing of hurricane season that lasts until November 30th. So please make sure your family is prepared by preparing a home kit, an emergency kit. It's if you haven't done that already, it's past due. So just as a reminder, the Atlantic looks very busy right now, but there are no risks for us within the next 5 days or so. But just as a reminder, always be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. Now we'll hear from Steve, if he's available for a maintenance update.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Our maintenance team continues to work on sanitizing buses and facilities to keep employees and customers safe. We are using a product called Vital Oxide that we spray with an atomizer throughout the buses and the facilities and do a wipe down. We have put in place a stronger bleach that we mop everything with and change out the water more often. Touching on the barriers that Ms. Malden was talking about earlier, we have received all the parts and pieces for the Area Transit. We're assembling all that before we put them on the buses. This should take place towards the end of this week and next week. Our fixed route supplies for the barriers should start coming in around 9/18, and then we'll start assembling that and start putting them on the buses. That's it for maintenance.
All right, great. So good to hear the barriers are going to be placed on the buses soon. Now, this is an opportunity for all of you who have called in. If you have any questions of anyone who's presented any information this evening, you can hit on your phone *9 and you'll be recognized and given an opportunity to ask a question or to make a comment or suggestion. So if you would at this time, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please press *9 on your phone. Anything, Eric?
We have one.
Okay.
We have one, Ms. Val.
Okay.
A moment. Caller.
Yes,
Okay, you're welcome to speak.
I have two questions. One is, why isn't CAT enforcing a mask rule on the buses?
And I'm sorry, I didn't get his name.
It's Bill Leitersdorf.
Thank you.
And would you repeat your question one more time, sir?
Yes. Why is it that CAT is not enforcing a mask rule on the buses?
His question was,
Okay.
why isn't CAT enforcing the mask rule on the bus? We're requiring passengers to wear masks.
Ms.
That's
Franklin,
correct.
I can respond to that
Okay.
if that's okay. So we
Yes,
are asking,
ma'am.
hey, this is Erica, Director of Safety Training and Environmental Services. This is something that certainly comes up a lot. It's a hot topic. It's one of the most controversial topics across the country. And we are modeling, all of our mitigations, just the same as a lot of transit agencies across the country. Some are mandating it, some are not. And while we realize that masks and face coverings are one of the most important ways to prevent the spread, you have to also keep into consideration that there's a lot of people that cannot wear a face covering or a mask that have some other underlying health conditions. And we are asking, once again, for anyone that doesn't fall within that exemption to please wear a face covering on our services.
Well, the second part of my question is CAT making any progress at all coming up with a mobile app to replace what you have now?
Thank you, sir, for your question. Believe it or not, we had a very interesting exchange as far as a conversation just this weekend about the mobile app. We recognize that is going to be a necessary component of mobility going forward. And so we are looking at some options. And so we just ask that you stay tuned because something is coming.
Okay. And I'm sorry, but I didn't catch the first part of the meeting. Is the Route 6 affected by the new scheduling?
Possibly.
Possibly all of our routes are, and Ms. Arden or Mr. Dumas may be able to speak to the 6th specifically, but effective November 1st, we're going to a Holiday Plus schedule, which really is however that route runs under a normal holiday schedule is how you would expect for it to run on a daily basis, with the exception of a few routes such as
Join the
14th,
meeting.
that we're going to be putting additional service due to the capacity of our buses and the number of customers that have expressed a need for that route. So I'm going to actually pitch to Ms. Arden or Mr. Dumas if they have anything to add specifically about the number 6 route.
And this is Mr. Dumas, if you can hear me. The Route 6, as you indicated, on holidays, it does provide one less bus than your normal weekday or Saturday. So you will have one bus servicing that area during the normal hours of the day, basically from at least by 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
I'm sorry, I missed it. There's only one bus that's going to be servicing the 6th route?
That's correct. In the holidays, if we ran a holiday schedule today, there's only one bus that's run that particular route on a holiday. So it will continue to be one bus running that route during the time that we're proposing to do the service change in November.
Well, I understand why you're doing it, but it's going to make it very difficult on those of us that use that route to commute.
And you know, that's always really hard when we have to make those decisions. I appreciate the fact that you do understand why we're doing it. And no, this is not something that we intend on doing long term, but during this moment in time that we're in with COVID, it is business unusual. And so we are having to make modifications in order to be able to ensure that we're around for the end game. So I definitely want to encourage everyone, reach out to your local congressman or senator, encourage them to pass another CARES Act bill so that we can have additional funding to help us sustain during this period so that we can offer more service to the customers that truly, truly need and deserve this service. But we are going to do our best to serve you to the best of our ability during this time. And we will definitely be reevaluating the needs of our customers. So please continue to stay engaged with CAT, continue to come to these community meetings, let your voice be heard, send in information, send in ideas, suggestions that you might have, because we want to be informed. We want to be informed and we want to make sure that we're providing the service that's going to work best for your mobility needs. So thank you for your comment and for your question, and know that we're going to continue to be monitoring and evaluating how we're able to evolve our service as we get through this pandemic.
Well, I want to thank you for your time and answering my questions. It's nice to know it's not going to be for the long term. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone else have a question? If you would, just hit *9 on your phone pad and we'll recognize you. Anything, Beverly?
No, ma'am. Not at the time.
Okay.
*9 to unmute.
Okay. Well, if not, then we'd like to thank each one of you for joining us this evening. We don't take it for granted. We realize that you could have been doing something else, but you chose to spend a little bit of time with us, and we please ask that you would join us every month second Wednesday of each month at 5:30. For now, we will be conducting these meetings virtually, but we'll notify you if anything changes. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. We hope you all have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.